Aloha, Lotus Dawn here with Blossom with the actual stars, True the Stars, Sidereal Astrology, and happy full moon. Tomorrow, Friday, May 1st, is going to be a full moon at 10:23 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. Are you feeling the energy? The full moon is the single most powerful time of the lunar cycle to let go of energy because the moon is magnetic and it draws energy up to the surface. Exactly, it draws water. So our body is predominantly water. And so what the moon does is actually draws the water of our body up towards the surface of our skin. What lives in the water of our body? Well, there's all kinds of biological things, but energetically, the waters are where we store emotion. And so the moon pulls and draws up to the surface our emotions. So if you're feeling especially deep emotions, you may be feeling the full moon coming. Also, additionally, there are some really powerful astrological energies that are in effect right now, tonight, that I'm going to dive into. So, if you want to hear and learn what is going on in the stars that might be affecting you tonight as we head into this full moon, then sit back, get comfortable, and we're going on a little adventure to tune into the actual sky to see what is actually happening and how this might be affecting you, how you feel. It's bringing up a lot, as I tuned into the energy of the collective today and I went out into town, it was pandemonium. And so I felt like it was very important to get on here and share with all of you the energies that we're in astrologically, as they're very intense and they could be affecting you, something that you're feeling. Okay, so I'm going to share screen. We're going to go on up to Stellarium, which is the actual sky. And I'm going to give you the 411 on what is happening with this full moon. It will be landing tomorrow at 10:23 a.m. And it's going to have the sun in Aries. And this is very different from what Western astrology says. Western astrology says the full moon, the sun is in Taurus right now. But mainstream astrology is based on where the stars were 2000 years ago and is no longer actually even accurate to what's happening up in the sky. So that's why I turn to Stellarium and I do True to the Stars sidereal astrology, because that is based on the actual sky, the actual what's happening right now. And right now, the sun is in Aries, and tomorrow it will be directly opposite the moon being over here in Virgo. It's a very interesting dynamic as the moon is our deepest emotional self. It's our inner sanctum. Think of moon as comfort, as home, as nurturing and nourishment. And so, whatever sign the moon is represents what we need to feel nurtured or nourished or whole. And the moon in Virgo, what is Virgo? Virgo, I often call the hands of the earth mother. If the earth had hands, what would she do? She would probably plant food and grow food to feed you. She would probably grow herbs to heal you. She would probably work with sheep and grow fibers for fabric to clothe you. She would probably tend to the sick and also give to the poor. She would help and assist those in need. And so that's really the energetic of Virgo, is the giver, the healer, the doctor, the nurse, the nutritionist. It's that person in the world who's out there busily helping others. And when the moon is in Virgo, we tend to be more sensitive because Virgo actually rules the digestive system. And so when the moon is in Virgo, we tend to be very sensitive around what we eat. We may notice that food is a topic that's coming up right now with the moon big and full in this constellational sign. Additionally, the moon is opposing something tonight that could be having quite a big impact across the world. And it is opposing Mercury, which is the planet of communication, conjunct, you can't see it here. I wish we could, but it's just too small. Chiron, the asteroid of Chiron. Maybe let's see if I look it up. Chiron. Chiron B. Let's try that. There it is. Oh, hooray. Okay. So here is Chiron, right? And it's very, very small. So we have to go really, 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 really far in. There's Chiron. Chiron in astrology represents what you call the wounded healer. And it represents deep pain that is yet to be healed. And so tonight, as we go into the full moon, Chiron, nestled in the constellation of Pisces, the two fish, representing deep wounds related to our sensitivity, our awareness, our psychic ability, our intuitive ability, our connection to energy, right? Our ability to see and feel beyond the mainstream world, beyond the veil. That's what Pisces is. And when you have Chiron there, it can mean that wounds related to our psychic gifts and ability, wounds related to our creative arts and abilities, like singing, dancing, expressing ourselves in a way that is beyond that conscious, logical, analytical way of being. Pisces is the expression of ourself through the water, the flow, the divine, the intuitive, the sparkle. It's like fairies in the forest. It's like the Lord of the Rings. It's like fantasy movies. Pisces is the energy of fantasy. It's the energy of imagination. It's the energy of water flowing with the current. It's the energy that allows us to ascend to heaven and connect to the angels and hear our spirit guides. And so when you have Mercury, the planet of communication, conjunct Chiron, the wounded healer, that's the thought, that's the thinking and the mind and the wound, directly opposite the moon in Virgo, which is emotion and its practicality. We have two very interesting things here. We have Pisces energy, which is the fishes, and then we have the moon, right? And they are directly opposite one another. So this is a circle right here. This is called the zodiacal wheel. You can see there's Sagittarius, there's Libra, um, there's all these, there's Taurus, there's Pisces. Let's see, what else can we see here? There is Andromeda. There's all these constellations, and they create what we call a zodiacal wheel, or a 360-degree circle that the sun moves through, right? So right now the sun is moving through Pisces and has gone into Aries. She just went into Aries. She's right at the feet of Aries. And tomorrow at 10:23 a.m., the sun will be directly opposite the moon. And the moon will be in Virgo. And you're like, Lotus, but Aries and Libra, I thought those were the opposite pair. Well, I use an astrological system that's based on the actual sizing of the constellations. And so Virgo is actually 47 days long. Typically, people think of each sign being 30 days long. But each sign is actually, if you look at it in the sky and you actually map it based on its actual reality of what's happening in the stars, each sign is literally a different size. And Virgo's 47 days long. And so it's not quite equally matched to Aries. And so we have an Aries Virgo moon, sun and moon happening tomorrow, 10:23 a.m. Tonight, that sun and moon energy, the moon is directly opposite Chiron and Mercury in Pisces. And so what does that mean? Right? What does it mean to have Chiron in Pisces opposite the moon? Well, Chiron is the deep wound. So it's a sensitive area. In the for the collective, it's the deep wound around our connection to the spiritual side, to the connection to higher powers, to heaven, to God, to imagination, to fantasy, to dreams. And directly opposite the moon in Virgo, the moon represents emotional nurturing and nourishment. And so it can relate to the mother. Interesting. So the moon represents the mother. It represents how we were nourished, how we were nurtured. What do we need to feel nurtured and nourished? What do we need to feel held and cared for? And so the moon is maybe our most sensitive, vulnerable um, side. You know, I often think of what is moon energy. Moon energy reminds me of a day where we're like, I'm doing self-care all day. I'm going to wear my PJs. I'm going to give myself a facial. I'm going to soak my feet in some magnesium. I'm going to make delicious food. I'm going to watch a nice movie. And it's this nurturing and nourishment vibe. And so when the moon is full, it creates a tension between that part of us that just wants to be comfortable. It wants to be held. It wants to be nourished. It wants to be safe. It wants to be held in the arms of family and friends versus, and now it's directly opposite. It's creating a polarity to the sun, which the moon and the sun represent very different forces. You could think of the moon like the mother and the sun like the father. And so you could also think of the moon like emotion, like our emotions, how we feel. And you can think of the sun like our soul, how we shine. And so when the sun and the moon are directly opposite, which they are right now as we head into the full moon tomorrow, Friday, May 1st, May Day, happy May Day. It's a time of opposition between what are we expanding into? And so when the sun is in Aries, which is the sign it's in now, Aries sun means we are feeling fiery. We are feeling excited. It's the energy of gung ho action. It's fire energy. Aries, fire, the sun, taking action, moving forwards, being fiercely independent, focusing only on the self. And what does the self need to do, right? So the biggest challenge for Aries is the tendency to be self-centered. But sometimes being self-centered is positive. Sometimes being self-centered is beneficial for I'm only going to focus on my dharma and anything in the way I'm going to move move past, right? So it can be helpful. But the shadow side with Aries, of course, is being too self-focused, too domineering, too dominating. Aries is also the sign of fire, energy, activation. You can think of it as the foot pressing down on the pedal. All systems go, let's charge forwards. And then we have the moon directly opposite it in Virgo. And Virgo is so different. I mean, it's the sign of the Earth Mother, right? It's the sign of nourishment. You can see she has the wheat and the chaff in her hand, and she's out there. She's the harvest. She's here to bring in the harvest. She's here to look, there's a satellite. Hello. Hi. Blessings to you, satellite. So interesting. So Virgo is here to help us to heal. She's here to help us to ground. She's here to help us get organized. So it can be a very strong health focus with the moon in Virgo. We're thinking about healing. We're thinking about what do we need to heal. We're thinking about our diet. We're thinking about exercise. We're thinking about our routine and our habits. That's what makes us feel comfortable right now. Whereas if we go over across the way here, the sun in Aries is all about taking action, moving forwards, and excitement, being a leader, being courageous, doing something that we've never done before. And so we have this polarity activating with the full moon between what makes us feel comfortable? Moon in Virgo. What makes us feel comfortable is getting grounded. It's getting organized. It's being methodical. It's being thoughtful. It's being health conscious and organized and health affirming and making positive choices with our diet and our health and our exercise. What's the sun in Aries asking? Well, it's saying taking action on your goals and dreams and desires, right? Instead of just thinking about it, actually doing it, actually taking an action step is very beneficial and powerful at this time. But the two can be a little bit opposing, right? So one part of you wants to be conscious and slow and take your time and make sure you're using the right amount of energy, you're consuming the right food, you're getting the right amount of rest. Whereas the sun is saying, go, go, go. And it's like, I don't care about sleep. I just need to make it happen. And so there's a really big tension between the courageousness of taking action and making it happen now and the energetic of caring for ourselves, getting grounded, being organized, looking out for others, caring for others. Okay, so here's the big dynamic, really. So if you could distill Virgo down, like it's one of its biggest challenges is that we do too much to help others. That's the shadow side of Virgo. Like it's so beautiful to help and serve and heal and help people. But the shadow side is, are you doing too much of that? Are you sacrificing Sun and Aries, what you want, your goals, your dreams, your desires to help others? And so this full moon could be pressurizing and pushing up to the top any tension that you may have in your life where maybe you're giving too much and you need to pull back and focus more on yourself. or vice versa, where you're focusing too much on yourself and it would benefit you to shift and give a little bit more back out to your community, help others, volunteer. So, Moon and Virgo, volunteering, health, healing, being a doctor, being a healer, being someone who teaches yoga classes or nutrition classes or helps people exercise, or you care for animals. It's all about giving and helping others. Whereas the sun in Aries is all about leadership energy. It's all about choosing why you are here and leading yourself first and then others towards the goal, dream, or destination that you wish to achieve. So there's strong tension there. And so I just wanted to give this shout out to you. If you're feeling that tension, that's the full moon in effect. What do I do about it? What do you do about it? Well, one thing you can do is do energy clearing, which is one thing my partner and I just did. We just did an amazing energy clearing call, just got off of it, and it was so powerful. My partner and I actually lead a weekly, twice a week energy clearing membership. So if you're feeling a lot of stuff come up, join that because tonight's call was so phenomenal and it really helped everyone clear the stuff that's being brought up by this full moon. Now, if you weren't there and you're wondering, what can I do now? Here's a really cool thing. The moon is magnetic. And so it will pull up and draw up whatever stuff in us wants to go. And so, what is our job? Our job is to take some time to go within, tune in, listen, and ask ourselves, what do I want to let go of? What am I ready to release? And instead, what do I want to focus on? So, the full moon, what do I want to let go of? And what do I want to invite more of in? Very, very powerful energy. So I wish you all an amazing, beautiful full moon. I will be leading my next live event will be Monday night at 6 p.m. an energy clearing call with my partner. And then Wednesday, energy clearing for women. It's a really cool group I just started to clear in a female only setting to clear energy blocks specific for women that can be coming up in the way of health, wealth, and love. And so, super happy to have you join me there. I wish you all a happy full moon. Comment how you're feeling, share what's coming up for you, share something you're ready to let go of and something you want to call in, and sending you so much love and so much light. Mwah. Aloha.